So it's only temporary, of course, that's the trade-off. You don't have any certainty, but you get to use it temporarily for free. I think that's super cool, and I actually think that that has the power to get people to come here and try things, and also to change the perception of Christchurch from poor Christchurch to, you know, wow, look what Christchurch. Have you been to Christchurch recently? Have you wandered around the central city and see all the cool stuff that's sort of popping up? For the first time in my life, I feel like I can see, I have this sort of vision. Normally I'm quite sort of, I don't make big plans a long way in advance, but with this kind of stuff I can really see the possibilities more than clearly than I could at anything before. So anyway, join our mailing list if you want. Volunteer if you want. On our website there's a volunteer form, fill it out. Follow us on Facebook if you don't already. And just keep up to date, and yeah, thanks for listening. And then I think now I'm going to answer a question. Yeah? Okay. It's a lot to take in. I'm kind of a bit of a whirlwind, I know, but I'm keen to answer questions from you.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do before?
I worked at the Arts Centre, running the Artist in Residence program and other public programs. I did a lot of different stuff in that job, but that's the easiest way to describe my job. And before that I ran a gallery. I ran the School of Fine Arts Gallery in the Arts Centre. And I've worked in festivals and theatre. I've done a lot of theatre work as well as an actor, and also as a just collaborator doing things. So I've got quite a mixed background. That's in New Zealand. I have a life before New Zealand. I'm actually from Australia originally, so I have a whole nother secret life back in Australia. No, it's really not actually. Other questions? Yes.
See some old doors have got some artworks over their doorway, old doorways, windows. Do you know about that?
Oh, where was it? In what village?
The one I've seen recently is that old building on the corner of
Oh, I know what you mean. The Cranmer Centre. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know anything, and I've recently found out what that is. That's an artist called, his last name is Hewson, I can't remember. But yeah, it's an artist project. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, the Cranmer Centre is on the corner of Kilmore and Montreal. Yeah, an old Gothic heritage building that's apparently going to be demolished like everything else. But an artist has actually put in the windows and doorways these photos on canvas, and the photos are all of his old studio in the Government Life building in Cathedral Square. But they're quite cool because they're behind the fence that have been done like guerrilla style at night. Which is, yeah, you should check them out. They're pretty amazing. Yeah. Other questions? Yes.
Have you taken these ideas overseas and say, hey, look, like with the student army, if you have what we've gone through in the last, again, we can teach the rest of the world a little bit of what we've gone through. Have you suggested to these places, coming from Aussie myself, where every 12 months we had those natural disasters,
Yeah.
so things like this, have you taken it overseas, taken the idea overseas?
Not yet. I'm not adverse to it. I don't have the time at the moment, to be honest. Like, Gapfiller is on steroids. I'm trying to keep my head above water. But someone suggested, I think this kind of thinking is definitely applicable around the world. I mean, a lot of countries, if you look at, New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, there's been a lot of creative activity there. It's sort of natural that artists and creative people want to bring something to their cities after they're devastated. But potentially, yeah, I've certainly had conversations with people overseas, like over the internet or Skype, and I'm doing a presentation for the BMW Guggenheim Lab in June, which is in Berlin. So there's sort of interest building, which is quite cool. But yeah, I thought that earthquake in Italy last week, I sort of started thinking like, maybe someone could go to Italy and sort of, because they're losing a lot of buildings, and they've got, Italy has such a rich history of artists, so yeah, maybe if someone wants to send me to Italy, that would be amazing. No, won't happen. Yeah. like the situation is potentially limitless. So, I mean, the problem we have at the moment is just that Gapfiller has two staff, that's it, and lots of volunteers. But it's like, if we wanted to, we could employ 20 people, but we don't really want to become that big. You know, we really want other people to pick it up and run with it, rather than, like, recently the New Brighton people got in touch and said, can you come out and do something in New Brighton? And I said, well, we'd rather share our knowledge with you so that you can do it, rather than we'll come in and do something for, you know, it's more powerful if the community can do it themselves, really, with our, because we're aware that, you know, we have a bunch of knowledge, the things that we've learnt doing this, it is a lot of barriers to people just going and doing something, like who owns the land, can I get permission, don't have any money, all that kind of thing, so, yeah. More questions? Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. What's stopping any of, no, I'm actually really interested in the barriers. What would be stopping, so some of you sitting here right now have got an idea, right? I know you do. What would be stopping you from doing it? Like, what are immediately the first things you come up against for your life? Like, what makes it hard? Funds? Yeah. Time, yeah, of course, yeah. I know, yeah, exactly, so it's great. Anything else? Fun, money and time, yeah. Bureaucracy, yeah. Like, you know,
I don't know, different paperwork or
Yeah. Yeah. Legal stuff, yeah.
Kind of the vulnerability of putting an idea out there and not knowing whether it will work or not.
Yeah, that's a really good one, because that's very true. Yeah.
I guess for me, working in the media and being the only representative of the media, I guess marketing it and getting your idea out there, not going to, because we're with community radio, so the fact that no one else seems to want to listen to, and such good ideas like everybody will have.
Yeah.
So that's another barrier.
Yeah. Anything else? Like if you were to start tomorrow with one of your ideas. So I mean, you've covered the major ones. Vandalism's one, isn't one, I don't think. That what you might do outside in the public realm, like someone might, you know, bash it over. Yeah, it does happen, but I must say we've been very lucky. So I'm wondering, is it something about the fact that people can see the projects for what they are, that maybe they stay away? I don't know.
I was going to ask about that actually.
Yeah.
I don't see one.
No, so there's tagging, which is, you know, one thing. But the book exchange was pushed over once, and it smashed one of the glass panels, and all the books were stolen twice. And but the amazing thing was the community just provided them. The books just came back again, like different books. But someone in the community noticed that the books were gone, and they just filled it up. That was amazing. The dancer mat was vandalised 3 nights in. The slot where the money goes in, there's a bit on the top that was crowbarred open, so someone could steal, you know, $8. So we welded it on. It wasn't welded before, and it hasn't been vandalised since. So we just needed to use more welding. That was the motto. Weld everything. Yeah, but other than that, not really. We've been pretty lucky. Yes. I was wondering when you'd ask me a question. I could see it in your face. Yeah.
Are you working on anything at the moment, or like what's your next Gapfiller project?
So the next big project is mini golf. So the idea is that there'll be like mini golf holes all around the city on various gaps. So to try and encourage people to come to the city and like walk around and explore the city, if you know what I mean. Like that they would walk from hole to hole or ride from hole to hole. And what we'd like to do is to kind of offer the making of the 9 or 10 or 11, we'll start at 9 holes to anyone and everyone. So there's already one group of people that have said, oh yes, we'll do a hole, so that different businesses or schools or a group of people or whoever would like design their hole, build it, and then maintain it. So you might get some quite varied holes, like if a certain business that, you know, did a lot of metal fabrication made a hole, they might do something that's quite in line with their skills or sort of product maybe. So that's the next big project. There's a prototype in Sydenham. If you go to Sydenham, there's the first mini golf hole next to our office, which gets played. It's really cool. It's just like a straight line. It's not very complicated. And other projects are projections. We want to collaborate with a group in Wellington who do these very interesting projections, which they're quite high tech. So I don't know if anyone's ever seen like a projection onto a building of ivy, and then every day it grows. So every night it would be different, and it'd be different, and it might flower. That's one project. And another is a home video project where we want to invite people who have videos taken in Cathedral Square from whenever to send them to us, and we'll edit them into a loop and project it. So this kind of act of remembering Cathedral Square as a place where lots of things have happened. The cathedral might feature in a lot of those, but it's not really about the cathedral, it's about Cathedral Square and how that's changed. So they're two major projects. And there's always others popping up, but that's on the planner. Yeah. So if you want to be involved in those, like if you're into mini golf, if anyone's into mini golf, you can form a team and build a mini golf hole. That would be really great. We've got the turf, and you can give a little bit of money towards materials, but other than that, it's sort of up to people what they want to do. Yeah. Yes.
I read a couple of months ago that the physics room opened up with a shipping container in them. Went past several times, didn't seem to be open, and they signed on them.
Oh, really? That was, they've just taken those away. It was there for about a month. It didn't have any signs outside. It was just 3 red shipping containers on the corner of Byron and Colombo. Yeah, it was sort of video artwork inside.
Do you have many places like approaching you, or have you had to seek out, like both for providing the land or ideas, or businesses to come on board?
Land is really hard. We very rarely get offers of land. Sometimes, sort of changed a bit recently. I've had about 4 offers, but generally it's the other way around. Like we see the land that appeals, or the gaps that appeal, and then have to find the landowners, which actually can take quite a long time because it's find them. It's like a detective process. It's kind of exciting actually doing that, but it is time consuming, especially when you finally get a yes. Businesses being on board, still quite, we have to sort of take the lead. Once or twice we've had someone come to us and say they'd like to be involved, like Altea Electrical Company. They saw our office and it's got solar panels on the roof, and the person driving past must have been, quite a techie person into electrical stuff, and thought, oh, solar panels, and came in and said, we'd love to help you if you ever need electrical expertise. And so I said, well, actually, there's this project called a dance mat. Would you like to be involved? And they did, and they gifted about $2,000 worth of labour and material, which is amazing. What was the other question? Just about land and
yeah, it was just about that discussion.
When we do go out and ask for support from businesses, or gift stuff like materials, they're generally very supportive, which is great. But I need to work on sort of more like bigger sponsorship, where I could say have a deal with Hire Quick, where I could go, I need to hire that or that, and they say sure. That's what I need to do. Yeah. You had a question.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, how do you decide how long a Gapfiller stays up? Is it just when the land is sold, or?
It depends on the project. They're all quite different. The Littleton Patong Club is sort of indefinite until the land is sold. The dance mat was we thought around about this time because we knew it was going to get really cold, and also that with winter coming, snow and frost, dance mat wouldn't really like that. But it it really just depends. There's no easy answer to that. Sometimes, with a project like the Cycle Powered Cinema, that has a very